Ignition Interlock, the pesky little machine that you need to blow into in order for your vehicle to start. Now, in Indiana, anytime anybody's charged with a DUI and they want to drive while the case is pending, they're going to be required, in almost every case, to carry an ignition interlock device. Now, anytime somebody is charged in the state of Indiana, a lot of times these people are going to be getting mailers. They're going to be getting pieces of mail that come to them from interlock companies. Obviously, I can't name them all, but there are going to be mailers that you receive saying, hey, if you get this installed, you're going to be able to drive, no problem. That's false. You actually need a physical court order from a judge saying that you need to have ignition interlock. What the mailers you receive, those are not signed by a judge. What they are is they are these ignition interlock companies trying to prey off of people charged with a DUI to get their system. The problem is it works a lot. So people will have ignition interlock installed prior to a court order, and then a judge might say, hey, we can't drive while this case is pending. And then you're almost stuck with the ignition interlock device. So it's very important to remember, if you need an ignition interlock device, a court will require it, a court will order it. Not something you receive in the mail, it's something you receive from the court, an attorney, a judge specifically. Now, sometimes we get cases where people need to work, they need to drive, judge is going to order some type of alcohol monitoring ignition interlock device, but they drive a work vehicle. Hey, I can't install ignition interlock device in my work car. I can't do that because sometimes I might drive a different one. There are times and in certain circumstances we can actually ask the court, instead of ignition interlock, to impose basically an alcohol monitor, a portable alcohol monitor, hooks up to a cell phone. It's a device, fits in your pocket, it will go off randomly throughout the course of the day to make sure people are not consuming alcohol. That's the biggest thing, is judges want to make sure people are not drinking and driving. Makes sense. Now, the difference between an ignition interlock device and an alcohol monitor are pretty substantial. So the alcohol monitor, as we mentioned earlier, that's going to go off randomly throughout the course of the day. So that could start going off 6 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock at night, randomly at the most inconvenient times is usually what happens. The ignition interlock device only required to blow into that when you want to drive a vehicle. Now, I'm not suggesting parking a car on Friday, having a giant blowout weekend where all you do is drink, sit out, and just enjoy some, kick back a couple beers. That's not what we're trying to say here. But the ignition interlock device, the only time you're required to blow into that is if you want to drive a vehicle. Now, there's tips and tricks with the ignition interlock device and the alcohol monitor. You can't or don't want to blow into those devices after you've sprayed cologne, after you use mouthwash, if you've been around certain substances like hand sanitizer or bleach or a lot of other cleaning supplies that have alcohol in them. These devices will pick them up and register a violation. And in most instances, especially with interlock, will lock you out of being able to drive and can cause a lot of panic. So if you have any questions about ignition interlock, about the alcohol monitor, if one's better than the other in a certain circumstance, give us a call, 317-632-3642. And remember, always plead the fifth.